I think you guys can hear me now. I guess you guys can hear me, both desktop as well as the regular. Okay, thank you for confirming. I guess you guys can hear me now. Welcome back to another live trading session. Here in this live session, we are looking for multiple time frame analysis. We are looking for overall trade setup here in this market. Welcome. Let's begin another trading session, and we are looking forward to see potential move in the market. If you look at the monthly, weekly, and we are on the daily market structure. So overall market trend that you can see in this market, it is currently in a overall downtrend that you can see here. And this downtrending market, from the 4-hour perspective here, that you can see the price action here showing that it is in a downtrend that overall. So if you look at this, is a resistance line, and off this resistance line the market may break here below, that you can see off that. And now if you look at this overall market structure, okay, that from the bigger picture, from the longer term picture, that we can see here in this market is bearish. Now if you look at the daily chart, that you can see in this daily market structure, we can see that this is currently in a overall downtrend. So if you look at the weekly here, that you can see also that overall in a downtrend. There is a crossover of both 10 and 20 exponential moving averages at this level that you can see here in this market. So if we look at the 1 hour, that's the lower time frame that we are looking at. And in this lower time frame, from the 1 hour perspective, this market is in a sharp downtrend that you can see again overall. It's in a sharp downtrend, and you could see the market to maintain its overall downtrending move here in this market. And because the market is in a downtrend, we are looking here for a possible sell setup. And I had just a previous session if you guys looked at, I have secured one trade as soon as the market appeared, and I'm looking for more entry setup in this session here to look at where the market is heading. All right, so if you look at that overall market movement, this is in a, if you look at that, it's in a overall downtrend, and we have seen that there was a breakup structure from this level, and with this breakup structure the market has reached this key resistance line, and off that key resistance line the price action has reacted back below, that you can see here in this market. And this is the overall market trend. Okay, so if you look at that overall market trend is here. Can you explain a bit about CPI news? William is okay, thank you. So there is coming up CPI. We will be looking at, I will be detailing of the CPI as we still have 10 minutes to go for the news to come up. Along with the technical trend, also we will be looking at the fundamental as well as with the current geopolitical sentiment, where the market is heading, which is very important to look at that on that geopolitical sentiment where the market is heading, because when you look at the overall geopolitical sentiment, you will be able to see that where in fact that overall the market is going and what is total directional bias in the market. Total means that we need to look at the technical. That means that the trend that you can see, this is in a trend where there is a breakup structure, the market dropped, and it is in a downtrend that you can see. Now after this stronger downtrend we saw multiple pullback. Okay, so that shows that strengthening in trend. Now you can see here it's a complete breakup structure showing up that XAUUSD in an overall downtrend technically. But you guys have seen that every single day I'm looking at both technical, fundamental, as well as the sentiment aspect in the market. As a lower time frame trader, we need to look at where the overall sentiment, where the emotion, where the traders emotion is sitting at, so that we can align our trade with the current trader sentiment in the market. So let's see that here. I'll be looking at a couple of current breaking news and also the geopolitical sentiment, what the market is doing. We can see that there is one Truth Social post that we have seen. It just recently from Trump. Let's see that how it has, I think there definitely have some influence in the market. Trump, Iran is all talk and no action, and they have taken too long to negotiate a deal. Now they will have to pay the price. Okay, so if we look at that, Iran's military is a complete and total mess. Much of it, like their Navy and Air Force, doesn't even exist anymore. They have been completely defeated. Iran is all talk and no action. The bully of the Middle East is dead. They have taken too long to negotiate a deal. What would have been great for them, now they will have to pay the price. President Donald J. Trump. So this is what I think that Trump was discussing about the Iran's intention that there is a delay in this negotiation. So that means we have seen with this current war context, I guess you guys also saw that the same thing. So there are two things. One of these two things happen. One is either optimism about the negotiation or return to the war, right? So as ceasefire is very fragile, so we see that things are getting back to the war, and I have seen earlier as well. So that means with the current market outlook, with the geopolitical sentiment that so far, with the going back to war, gold is bearish, and you can see the market is reflecting that pattern. So you can see that this is the daily market structure where there is a both crossover of both 10 and 20 exponential moving averages that you can see here, and also there is a daily bearish engulfer crossing over this daily doji entirely in both direction. Now today's price action, if you look at that here, we see that so far since the market opened with a gap, it's melting down, which is a stronger breakout of this market. So I'm only on the lower time frame now thinking to sell, and you guys have seen that earlier. I have shared one successful trade in the group, has entirely directly hit the profit target, the full TP hit in our signal group. If you are not on the premium group, there's a link in the description. You guys can have that, can went through the link, okay, which is important to see. And I have shared all my trades in that premium group, where you can access all the details, all the trade that being shared in the premium group. And there is a link below this video in the description. You guys can access the link. Thank you. Definitely bear market from just. Okay, so let's say that, hi coach, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. I'm doing well. Yes, it is now feeling better, dog. Thank you very much. Trump just was in mood for another market manipulation. So what we can see here, that I always take, for my honest view is that politician leaders, they don't have time to think about what their speech will do the market. But this is my personal opinion. So what I do here is that as a trader, because that we have a brain that has a reticular activating system, right? So if you look at that reticular activating system, is a very important concept that will change how you look at the market. So we have our brain, okay, frontal lobe, and the reticular activating system, right? Now with this reticular activating system, we normally pay attention to that, the things that is mostly, okay, we program. So therefore, as a trader, I program myself to pay attention to the things that moves the market, right? If you look at the market is moving, how many factors that we can consider the market is moving? Upcoming, if you look at the calendar, coming up, CPI also having market movement. So therefore, if we look at that overall market sentiment here, in terms of formation is definitely bear market. Yeah, thank you. So if you look at that overall, that on the market movement here, that the price action shows that it's entirely bearish here, that you can see this market. So therefore, pullback could be a good area for us to look for an entry opportunity here in this market. All right, so let's look at here what else we have here in this market. That's what Trump said he's close to ordering new strikes against Iran. I think it's 1 hour earlier, which is also the recent news. I think it's based on the Truth Social post. Strikes against the Iran power plant and bridges. Close to ordering new strikes. Okay, and if we look at that here, overall, so Iran is doing zero business. Not. I think there is another post here, so we'll see that overall sentiment we can understand. Fake news media refuses to report new effective. The US naval blockade is the most successful blockade in the history of naval warfare. Nothing gets through unless we wanted it. It is a steel wall. Iran is doing zero business, not paying their military or any of their bills, and quickly becoming failed nation. Lots of oil is getting out. Please President Donald J. Trump. So if we look at that overall, so there is a blockade, and I think we also didn't have heard that a couple of times that there is effective blockade, and some of the I saw that maritime image also shows that there is a lot of ship stranded around the Strait of Hormuz, which is mean that there is a strong blockade. Now if you look at the oil, now you can see that oil price also shows some move here based on that. And so oil, if you look at that on gold, okay, especially I'm looking at gold here as dollar index. If you look at the coming up, CPI will be a good indicator here to look at. So the CPI here, this is CPI move we might see shortly after here, and this is the 4-hour price action that you can see. Okay, so you can see that here the market with what kind of data has come out with the CPI is very important. So CPI YY 4.2 forecast, actual 4.2, CPI MM 0.5 forecast, actual 0.5, and so core CPI also 2.9 forecast, actual 2.9, remaining is core CPI maiden 0.2. okay, so this is 4 of them indicator shows equal, and one is 0.2, forecast was 0.3. so if we compare with the NFP, that I would like to look at a full view of that. The NFP was almost more than double, and ADP non-farm is way more than that. So I would say that if we compare the two event, CPI and NFP, still DXY might remain in a better position. So, and if you look at the overall move on NFP, that you can see there was a massive breakout with the CPI, the market, but I think that may not show that much of reaction of as a bearish consequence. Rather, we could see that there might be here a stronger movement on DXY, as for me it's still an optimistic data in terms of the dollar index. So therefore, if you look at the gold, and the market has reflected that, gold has shown earlier today strong bearish movement, and we see that there is a breakout. Now for me, we could be able to see even potential entry for short setup with this initial breakout here on gold. That's what I'm looking at in this market. Thank you, and I believe you guys are enjoying the live session. Make sure you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done yet, press the notification bell so you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. So you can see that from this support area here, this is a key support. Of that support, the market had that breakout here, and with this breakout that you can see, this is a neckline of this consolidation. The market is trying to break above here of this level, and I think that now if the price creates this breakout, this is, I would consider, a breakup structure, and that breakup structure can create potentially entry opportunity again shortly after in this market. Let's look at to see how far it is going in this market. So here is, if you look at that from this support, that the market had significant breakup structure that you can see from this level. Morning. Is market going to break above or just sweep for liquidity and going down? Thank you. In my opinion, it's grabbing the liquidity and we might see that rejection. Okay, so therefore I'm still biased for potential sell opportunity. What is your bias? But we need to see that it get overextended in one direction for us to be able to look for that entry, which is very important to look at. Okay, so you can see that here. This is a current area of value. So from this support that you can see, this is an initial move back up. So therefore breaking out of this, breaking out of this key resistance line is where you'd like to see a potential entry opportunity in this market. Okay, here is the overall market trend, and I'm looking forward to see potential break here in this market. And what is your bias, traders, on XAUUSD today? Also, you can share your opinion. Did you capture the news? You have looked at, and now all right, so in this area that you can see the market slowly trying to break above, and with a consolidation that you can see of this level. And because the market is in this consolidation that you can see of this level, the price action in this area, in this zone of consolidation, we most likely could see potential breakout here for another continuation of this market. And therefore from support, if you look at that, the market is going to this 30 minutes candle is crucial. We might see some push back further. 4-hour chart that you can see the market has reached this 4-hour resistance line, and 1 hour also the market nearly to breaking this key level. So therefore I'm biased with a potential entry for this movement. 4-hour chart, if you look at, there's a pin bar here. Are you guys with me? Say yes if you are. Also make sure guys you like this stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. Press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. Liquidity grab on the 4-hour. So you can see that, yes, you can see that liquidity grab on the 4-hour time frame. Yes, yeah, thank you very much. Big wick, yes, that you can see. This is a big week, of course, and I believe you guys also enjoyed this week. This is pretty much big week, and with this big week, that the price action has created that momentum that you can see from here, which is a pretty stronger momentum of this level. And that momentum is important because you see there is a one single drop, now one single move, it has a high possibility to revert. Now the question is, at what level we can look for that entry, which is it's forming a doji. You know, I'm really keen to see that this resistance is broken here. Okay, so which is very important to look at. If this resistance broken, that's where you will be able to look at an entry. So right now, no bias. I follow 15 minutes and looking for, okay. Now look, the market man can break off this level and can entirely come back below. All right. So, but I really want to see, it looks like that we might see a rejection of this level here. And that was a break of structure potentially. So you can see that the market, when it is coming here, getting that reaction. Big week on the 4 hour. Yes, we can see that. Thank you. I think if not tonight, then this week we should break 4099 level and make a new lower low below 4000 maybe. Okay, off this level, it's trying to break that high here, and that break could be going back in the major direction. You might see that going back to the key level here, and this is what we are looking at for this market structure. And from this support that you can see the market slowly building its momentum, and if we see the price action has reached that level, reach that key zone here, we will be able to see a new higher high potentially be created here in this market. Looking at 4 hour, I would expect it to fill up that week before the 4 hour close. For right, I think we can go up to 1 hour 20 MA. So this is the level for 1 hour 20 MA. Let's say that let's delete all those levels. There is one logic can be behind it, is that the market tested the 1 hour 10 EMA here, but since the crossover we don't see any test of this 1 hour 20 EMA. And daily is, if we look at the daily market, today's move and the pullback from here to this low would be 61.8%. Weekly 4 hour here, and so you can look at this market here. Okay, so it is a falling market. However, because there is a break of structure, 5 minutes candle closing if it is doji, this is the current 1 hour 20 EMA level, which is also the order block of this breakup structure that you can see here. And with this breakup structure from this 1 hour lower time frame order block, now there are two potential here, is for the market straight to go back up to test that zone and then to come back. The other is to continue to drop from here. So I would like to start a pool here to see that. Actually we'll be marking the price level 4160 and 4208. So which one you think that the market will go? Okay, so I will be mentioning the both price level and you guys can just press. So I have shared two price level, and if you guys enjoying, so make sure that you press that both buttons to see that what's your bias here. One is the market to drop from here, the other is the market to drop from this level. So let's see that what the majority of them at. Continued falling. Okay, we are very far away from it right now. Thank you. Even if you are far away, because there is a breakout that you can see, this move happened in just a matter of, you see the market does like that. This move happened in 2 minutes. Okay, this is the level, this is the level. So 2 minutes. In 2 minutes the market moved to 410 pip, right? In 2 minutes time. So if it had a breakout, it still can go another few minutes, 300 400 pip, right? So because there is a breakout, 10 and 20 may cross over from each other. So let's wait to see that how far it's gonna go. Now especially breaking from this key level, if you look at breaking from this key level, can create strong selling pressure here in this market. Drop to go. Okay, I don't think we will drop any further tonight. We need to go up to 1 hour 20 EMA. Okay, now because there has been one wave of breakout that you can see here, there has been one wave of breakout. Okay, there is a possibility for the market to have a potential another wave of breakout. We'll see that we're heading. Get ready for the flush. Will definitely drop. Okay, let's see here you can see there is a narrow consolidation that you can see of that. Okay, so you can see that here is the narrow structure. Now this structure can still break below and continue to drop, or we could see that another flight back above. But I would straight sell this if this one single move has crossed this recent key level entirely. Okay, if it has crossed this recent key level entirely and then reacted back below, then I would definitely look for short here in this market. But you can see the market here that has with one single move. Now this might still can continue to drop, or we might see liquidity grab again going back up. So if you look at the 15 minutes has closed, and the 1 hour is coming in 10 minutes time. Should I go for sell? No, I'm not entering yet, so I'm not going anything yet. If you guys look at, should I go for sell? Okay, the RSI indicator has moved deep into oversold territory following the aggressive sell off during the Asian session. Thank you. Do you think sell is a good idea for gold this week? So far we can see that selling is a good idea, and we can see there is a significant bearish trend. Now it's trying to break below here. Okay, so this is on a fair value gap. Okay, if you look at this is a fair value. I'm not still selling neither buying, is because I'm still not fully convinced that it's gonna be fully going up, neither being fully convinced that it's gonna drop here. So we are waiting for the market to show its directional bias, which is very important to look at, guys. And as I mentioned, always the patience is key in trading, right? And always to trade informally. Okay, look for always the overall sentiment in the market, right? US Consumer Price Index May 2026. So there is a volatility for the consumer price index that you can see. And also in recent hour we saw there was a few Truth Social post from Trump, and that has bring the increased volatility. Trump is all talk and no action. Iran is all talk, no action. They have taken too long to negotiate a deal. Now they will have to pay the price. Okay, so that's another way of saying that going back to the war. Okay, so I think that's another way of going back to the war. Okay, so if another way of going back to the war, and we can see it's a current war. XAUUSD, if you look at the gold, is currently in a, this is currently gold in a, if you look at the overall, that in a bearish trend. Now with this current war, if you look at that, gold in bearish trend, right? I guess you guys have seen that. Now because gold is in a bearish trend, we are only looking for selling, right? And I have shared the previous trade during the London session. For this one in the premium group, have you taken that? And I have shared the trade, and also the results has come out as we discussed. and I've shared the trade, also the outcome in the premium group. I'm sharing the screenshot here on the premium group as well. So here, so far, bearish trend that you can see, and I think the market might still remain here bearish. We'll see that how far it goes. Thank you. It's my first time on your stream. Thank you for joining. I'm sure that you'll enjoy. Thank you. It's my first time on your stream. I use IC1 as my broker. Which one do you use? Okay. The broker that I'm using, guys can see in the link in the description, where you can follow along. You can find also if you want to sign up with the broker that I'm using. I'm currently using Vantage, and you guys can see the link in the description. Okay, so here is for your experience, how often the news impulse candle gets absorbed and how often does it sign in you? Okay, so cool. Now here is the market started to all right, so we expect morning live. Yeah, there are 2 lives today. I have missed the first one, and I guess I was unexpectedly missed, but with the second one we are on it, and I do come on live twice every single day. If you guys look at markets, from your experience, how often the news impulse candle get absorbed and how often does it signal a new trend? Okay, this is a I think good observation. Okay, good observation. Usually news candle get absorbed. Okay, absorb means that fully again reverse more often. Okay, and so if you look at it, sorry, in Sydney or Melbourne, I'm in Melbourne. So if you look at that overall, you see that this is a trend line, and with this trend line from here, okay, the market has dropped and the market is maintaining that downtrend here back below. So if you look at that, more often the news candle again reverse, right? And I guess you guys also know that. News candle reverse. And because the news candle reverse, you will see that in most of the time is because of the low volume during the news. So therefore this is a trend line, and we can see the market can create and a significantly upside bias here in that market, okay, which is the previous resistance here, which is turning support in that area. And resistance turns support, the market maintains this uptrending market structure here, could continue to rise here back above, and I think the price action may move up again to the direction of the trend. So here the overall trend that you can see from that, it had a breakout, pull back, and you could see another breakout here in that market. Now the candle close here, which has closed with a pretty sharper drop here in that zone. All right, so we'll see that here. So it's breaking out of this support level here in that area, and could be pushing here back up to that key level, and from this support we might see the market to continue its trend back. So with this initial breakout, the market has again reached that key resistance line that you can see off this level. Fake out, so thank you. So are you in Melbourne? Okay. Yes, we have seen that move. Now, if we see that the market again has reacted to that level, we could see the market to again break below here in that area. We'll see that where it is heading. So current level of area that you can see in this area, and don't you think it's gonna try to reverse off that? It's the 1 hour candle close. It's pretty long doji. there is a liquidity trigger of that level that you can see here in this area. So this is resistance here, and you can see the market has tested the resistance multiple times, and you could see the reaction back below again of that level, and because the market trend is showing its momentum here, we could see what I think that now after the pullback for the price action to have another potential wave of drop. Right, guys, you can see that there is initial move. The market shows Trump says Iran will pay the price for taking too long to negotiate a deal. I think so this is what we saw that. So basically another way is, I would say that maybe going back to war, or because we don't know what is on the deal, but I think it means that going to the war. So if that's the case, then if you look at that on, the oil is showing up, and dollar index, if we look at that on dollar index, this is a long week doji on dollar index that you can see here. We had a trade yesterday, is still on it. So WTI, XAUUSD. Now gold is, you see that after this close that I'm looking at, I'm closing here again. If you look at the 1 hour price action, which was a long 1 hour doji in that area, and with this 1 hour doji that you can see on XAUUSD, series of lower high, and with this series of lower high here, the long week drop, another move. So the market is in this downtrend, and here is price action here that you can see of that level. So now this is where we need to look at the moment, is that the market might now try to break out here. If it goes for another breakout, then higher chance for the market to go back to 1 hour 20 EMA or near there. And with that movement, the market might have an entire rejection of this higher price. What do you think here? It's a buy just started. Inflation jump for a third consecutive month. Is the Iran war? Trump is a lot of blah blah, very little comprehensive action. Okay. Inflation jumped for a third consecutive month as the Iran war continued to drive up price. Okay, so with the one that Trump little lot of blah. Guys, keep in mind that, you see, let me tell you one secret that will change how you look at everything. Definitely is helpful for your personal life as well. Will be. You see, there is a big, let's say, mountain here, right? Big mountain. And there is another, like a small, let's say 5-inch that soil or mud create a similar shape like a mountain. Now when you push that mud, take an action, it's not gonna, like if you push it to, let's say 10 meter, it may not make a much difference along the way. But if you take the mountain and then just shake it a little bit, think about what happened. So that's why the bigger, the less action comes. This is the natural way things happen. Because when you see that something carries something bigger, when it moves little bit, sometime rather, that's why the wind goes and create a sound but doesn't move at all. That's what it is. So in another way, the things is big is difficult to move also, because little move can create a lot of shake around. Okay, so you can you can hit a C 1 degree, or you can boil exactly you are to the point. You don't need to do 1 degree C, like if you heat a C for 1 degree, then there might be even disaster could happen. So but you can boil entire pond, nothing will happen, right? You just go to the air and done. So like that, the bigger things is difficult to move in. Okay, but when it moves, it sometimes shakes, right, a lot. So now let's look at here. On if you look at the 1 hour price action here, that this is key level of resistance, series of lower high, and with a 10 EMA. Near to that, the market has reached. Looking at here, that the market is structured to move up. Let's see how far it goes here in that area. We'll be looking at overall trend direction here in this market. All right, so now because there is a long wick doji here, okay, we see that the market is slowly creating a structure in that area, and that structure is, if the market breaks above this structure, that could bring that market to come further lower here. The market also like that. You see that when there is a volume in the market moves a lot, right? Which is very important to look at. Now there is a doji, the market is trying to push here back above, and in this area that you can see of that level, there is a 20 EMA, and also there is a 10 EMA. With this doji, the market might try to push here back in that area, and a big long week, quite a few of them. I'm looking forward to see the market to retest and then to return again back in that direction. So here if you look at, this is a pretty long week candlestick pattern that you can see, and of that pretty long week candlestick pattern, looking forward to see the market to react to that level. Welcome. Now, to enter a trade, you want to see the market structure has built in solid momentum. You can see that of this level, there is from here a move, and every time the market is having the reaction of this key level. And because the market is having the reaction of this key level, we are looking forward to see the price action to revert again back. 4100 is obviously major support. $4,100. Yes, I 100% agree. 4,100 is a major support, but if you look at that, this is the 4,100, but because the market in the past has tested the support once, here the chances for this market to break that support is higher. So if you look at that overall, the market is most likely to break that support is higher. Okay, so if you look at that overall market structure of this level, price action could break that low and can continue to drop down back below here. So overall, if you look at that of this level, the market is maintaining its downtrend, and you could see the price action to here that revert back below in the major flow. If there is a strong support, there is a strong reaction. When the price is moving towards support slowly, it means there is not much support left. Now, the overall market trend that you can see here is showing that it is in a downtrend that you can see of this level. I did buy at 4165. Is that good? You bought 4165. It's now in a downtrend. No, I wouldn't look to. This is a very strongly falling market. Okay, if you look at, it's a very sharply downtrending market, and I'm not going to look at any kind of sell in this market. If you look at that overall, okay, it's in a sharp downtrend, and yeah, I'm not going to look at any entry here in this market. I'm sure you might see pullback if you sold at 4165. Wait for a pullback probably, or depending on how you want to manage the trade. You can see that there is a long week. That long week shows a stronger rejection of this market here. I don't think it goes higher than 4170. Buy one. I bought it at 4165. Now I have like 200. I'm looking for a sell, and as you mentioned that this is a falling market and not a good idea to buy. However, for those who have bought, definitely you have a stop loss, and better to take the stop loss in that case. I still think we can go up in NOI session. The market might get little, it might get little push up for a pullback. But if you look at, this is the 4-hour bearish engulfer, and the current candle also will be closing in 30 minutes or 35 minutes. Okay, so for us to look for the sell, I'm still on a sell. Then you can see that this 30 minutes candle, that you can see the current one has a important information here, guys. You can see that this is a very long wick, pretty long wick candle that you can see with a narrow smaller body, large long wick, followed by this one from here that you can see had shorter wick. Okay, so because it has a longer wick and also it has a shorter wick, we may see here in this market to have a pullback and then to return again back down in this market. So you can see from here it's trying to push back here on that. Sir, any strategy for stock investing? Simple and no-brainer kind of. Okay. For stock investing, mostly, forex and stock little, there is a large difference. For example, for a stock, you can use for day trading just the trend. Okay, the same strategy that you use, but if you are investing for long term on stock, then you have to look at the specific company information, because here gold we can look at the overall, but in stocks each company has a different history. So look at their past histories, see if they are overbought. Mostly a stocks investment depends on intrinsic value, where the market is now and where the overall so where the price level is, where the intrinsic value, and then the trend. Technical is really matters. Look at the trend. Never bought an overbought market, neither sold an oversold market. Always use the higher time frame on a stock. Very important to look at. I wouldn't look to like this lower time frame trend is only in gold and crypto. Stock is always higher time frame. This is very important to look at. When you look at the higher time frame, that's where everything is. And look at the higher time frame and trend, company information, if they had dividend or no in the past. So all of that will, and also look at the future of the specific types or genre of this company, right? Something is coming in the upcoming days, more of high in demand, like that. That's what you can look at. Okay, going back to our entry here on gold, and you can see that of this support there is a rejection back here above, and from this support the market is trying to push back to that level, and from this support here that the market is creating an upside bias that you can see of that. Okay, so from this support we can see that breakout. Now going back to just review the current fundamental as well as the negotiation, that what is where at and how we can look at the next market movement. So if you look at on dollar index, we can see the core CPI, CPI, those data has come out. What I say that is still strengthening for DXY in comparing with NFP, also shows strengthening, and therefore we saw that gold is there is a breakout, but we can see the market has dropped again back below. So overall trend shows is still in a downtrend. If you look at the 1 hour chart here, there is a doji. The market during the news has gone up, but the buyers couldn't create a new higher high, shows that there is still the market is in this downtrending move here. So if you look at this doji here, that you can see it's a pretty long doji with another doji here. Okay, now all of this candlestick pattern shows there is a potentially downtrend continuation here in this market. Okay, it might be forming, if you look at this level here, a potentially head and shoulder. It will drop further until it grabs liquidity above 4179. Here the market structure shows is still in a bearish trend that you can see in this area overall. Okay, so you could see the market is in a downtrend. So with this movement that you can see of this, trying to move up here. So here the market has tested this key zone, and of that key level, the price action, if you look at that, from that zone, it might here try to break below. If we see that further upside can create potential selling pressure here in this market. With this doji, the market now slowly trying to break that high here. So there is a both 10 and 20 MA from the 15 minutes, and if you look at the 30 minutes, also the market's trying to break that high here. From the 1 hour price action, also the market shows that upside. Now this breakout of this trend line can create better trading opportunity here for us to look at what you could see in this market. And I'll be more of interested once the market will get overextended. That is where the best trade will come. If you look at, we need to see an overextended market. That means that the market that has got oversold of those levels. And this is the recent level of trend line. Once it breaks, you could see that upside bias, which can be with a triple bottom here. The market is trying to push back here slowly upside to this trend line, and I'm looking forward to here to see the market structure to go back again and then to create here a new structure formation of this level. Where is that trader with a buy at 4.65? yeah, this is what happened, especially when the market goes opposite. It creates very strong emotional response, which is in trading, okay, which is very common in trading. And but if you are looking at the market from a different angle, especially look at the trend overall, you see that now the current trend line is here. You want to see that the market to breaks from the trend line. That's where you'll see the market structure will create its momentum. And from here, there's a narrow doji. This might now try to grab liquidity, and that's why I didn't enter here, because it was a very smaller move. Could happen because it didn't show a stronger momentum. Here was an entry, but because there is a stronger breakout, it's always a good idea to wait for a further confirmation. Now, breaking out this trend line, if you look at that, breaking out from this trend line is where a high probability trade setup comes in play. That's what we want to see, this market to give us further confirmation here in this market. I'm waiting for a break of structure of this trend line and going to this here, going to this order block, potentially to this order block, because there is a you see that the market is approaching the trend line. Breaking out can create a new trading opportunity. If you look at the 4 hour here, that you can see it's closing in 17 minutes. Going up can give an entry opportunity here in this market that you could see. Okay, so it just has crossed the current trend line that you can see of this level. Okay, now after cross of this trend line, the market has reached this area. It just has broken a recent level of resistance that you can see here. Do you think WTI has a good entry setup right now for long? WTA, I wouldn't look to buy yet. WTA, it might, I think WTA might go for a further pullback, though you see the market has reacted of this support. But if you look at that 10 and 20 MA, the market might, even we could see that potential short-term selling pressure can happen, because you see this is a, you look at the 30 minutes, it is one single drop. We saw the pullback drop and the market has broken again. It still can bias towards the downside on WTA. Okay, gold has broken again off this, and now the market has just broken this. Okay, there is a breakout there. You see that this is a liquidity sweep at this level on XAUUSD, and now it's approached that zone that I'm potentially looking for entry. Thank you. Now if you look at that level, I'm looking for potential entry. You see the market has just been crossed this trend line, and from the hourly perspective and also the 4-hour price action has created a new higher high. It's trying to break here. So we have seen here in this area the market from this key level. This is a breakup structure now, and now looking at trade setup, if we look at that overall, now you can see that from this high here, the price action slowly breaking this low and of this level that you can see in this area. For our candle will soon close to us give bias. I am anticipating sell if comes. Okay. Yeah, so this move that you can see is before the intraday close is important, because after this move, and we want to see that even further upside, because the bigger the move will be before the candle close, the higher the possibility the market to return again back in the major direction of the trend. Okay, so this is what we're looking to see. Now, going back to some of the Bank of Canada maintains the policy rate. Okay, so if you look at the policy rates on Bank of Canada maintains the policy rate at 2.142 and half a quarter. The Bank of Canada today holds its target for the overnight rate 2.25%, with the bank rate 2.5% and deposit rate 2.2%. Conflict in the Middle East is now on its 4th month. So some of the recent volatility. Now the market in a zone where neither we could look to buy here because it's now overextended, but potentially we'll be able to sell if the market shows significant reaction of this level. This is the 1 hour 20 EMA zone, which is a very important level that you can see. Are you looking for a sell? Yes, I'm still looking for a sell. It's a downtrending market, so I'm always trading with the trend, which is very important for me, always to stick to the trend, and I believe you guys also agree with that. Now we can see that there is a breakup structure. There is also an order block formation here, so the market might go for an extended move. We will grab liquidity. Yep, we can see there is a grab of liquidity, and here with this movement, if you look at the market has reached that zone where there is a trend, and in that area they're looking for this market to eventually, if we see that breakout further, here is we will be looking at this market to eventually to trend back here below. We will grab liquidity. Yeah. Might go for another push up. There might be still, we could see that there is a potential for another liquidity grab here. might go for another push up, reaching for 50% of 1 FBG. So it has broken the trend line. So if you look at the 4 hour here, that you can see after the doji, the market has started a new candle. Let's delete all those levels here to see that actually what kind of now this is a market which is creating that both direction still equally important. So if you look at this is the 4 hour resistance, and of this level the market, once the candle close, I might create another channel on 1 minute, like after the news and before NY open. It might create another channel on 1 minute, like after the news and before NY open. Okay, now there could be, if you look at the lower time frame, so you can see here, this is currently a structure that you can see of this, but this time the buying pressure looks little stronger. So here 1 hour closed, trend has closed, but there might be a strong selling now, or we could see another potential upside. Usually after this kind of move, the market needs to retest that high again to be able to see that it's entirely sell off again. Can it fall down from here as well? Yes, it can fall down from here, but usually after this kind of stronger move, the price, if we see, let's say, one attempt more, okay, and then getting rejection is a high possibility. So if you look at, this is a current dynamic trend line that you can see. It's important to look at. Exactly, test of high. Yeah, thank you. for a short-term trade setup. Okay, with multiple retest of this support, we might see, here for short term potentially upside. If we see that short term upside, I'll not be hesitant to go for a short term buy. But at the same time, if you look at the 4 hour, it shows very strong selling pressure. If you look at the daily, therefore trading with the trend is the most important part. But if the market here, now you can see that if it is going up and rejecting of this high, that is where a good entry point will come for us to sell this market. Oh, I guess you guys are talking about exactly retest of high. Yeah, if you want to see that retest of high, so it's quite a few long week candle that you can see the market is creating in this area here. And with those long week candlestick pattern, if we look at closely, we can see the market could have potential reaction here that can create that upside bias. Closely look at, and don't you think the market will have another flight back to the upside? How many of you agree with that? Okay, I will be opening a short-term buy opportunity of this level, keeping stop loss below this low. It's gonna be a very short move that I will be targeting, not a big one. Smaller move that I'm going to look at here for potential around 80 to 90 pip that I would like to see the market to go up. It's a scalping trade. So it's a buy trade for a very short move, potentially for another move back here to the resistance line. And I might close this trade very soon as we can see enough pip reached. I've done a false breakout. Got to break back to the upside, and okay, there is a rejection of this, and so false breakout on both direction here. So there are buyers here that, and back to false breakout at this level, and this is a flag pattern that you can see of this, and looking to see that if this flag pattern is having potential reaction here back. Some reaction of this level here that you can see, and I'm stopped out. The market has broken back below. Now let's see that where what kind of market is this one. This is potentially now a break of structure. So it has created a false breakout here in that area, and therefore the market might continue to trend back in the major direction here. That you can see. I wanna buy. We are in a market that can go now both direction. I'll be taking a next trade shortly. Not yet. We'll be waiting to see. There won't be enough risk reward. Market here, if you look at that, it may here just continue to trend now in this direction. Okay, now going to look for the similar kind of setup here. Both I will be looking at long and very tight stop loss 4160.48. Profit target will be setting at 4182.34. This is also a buy trade. Now this is overall downtrend. That definitely that's why my stop loss every time very tight. Here I'm only 80 pips stop loss. Now the market had a break of structure of this with the 5 minutes another candlestick pattern closed. Looking to see that having potentially short-term move here in that area. So there is the support. There was a stronger move that we have seen that happened. So it was a fake out. Stopped out. So the market might just keep dropping, which was a false breakout. And from the lower time frame, that you can see the market might people. You may feel, yeah, this you can see that there is a it was an entirely a false breakout, and the market is basically filling that gap here. So therefore, if you look at that, overall might maintain the downtrend again. So the next thing that we need to wait here patiently, because if you look at that, the market trend here is, there was one false breakout, two false breakout, and because back to back two stronger bullish move, there is a higher chance for the market to go again for to retest this resistance. That's the basis of our entries that we have taken here. 30 minutes price action, that you can see candle close and it's gonna sell off, might be, yeah, there might be sell off to this level now. So the next up here, because it's strongly selling, okay, we will be looking to trade with little bigger risk setting, little bit, and then taking that move down back below. Review the 15 minutes here. Rather take a small break, because when you have, you know, that future rate not going in the favor, better to wait a little bit. And let's go think it will be go sideways and eventually go up. Yeah, the market little unpredictable now, because the market already exhausted and in this area. So, you know, it is a good idea is to wait now to see that actually finally which direction going. Overall might keep coming down, but before it's coming down, it might go for another pullback, and that's where the possible entry can come. And in the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this session, guys. It was a great session with all of you. I'll see you there again shortly with any trade ideas as well as analysis, and also tomorrow there will be 2 sessions. We'll be also trading there. Until that, stay well, stay happy.